Telekoni Teso lolo telekoni abe koni da lolo wikatunga ajala kisangolo pa teker ajala kisangolo pa ai puma ina ikoto kwa Teso ajala kisapiti na Teso ajala kisapiti na amina na ra ikoto ikatunga isolo tai katunga ai katunga mwanga nyene katunga ipalisa ikatunga ai katunga mwanga nyene katunga Kumi taune katunga ai katunga mwanga nyene katunga
I don't know what we know you're a doctor, but we want to know who actually today is Dr. John Ekure. You're welcome as you greet the audience. Please tell us exactly who Dr. John Ekure is.
Thank you, Paul. One disclaimer must make before I greet the audience is that I'm not that specialist. I'm a very simple, Teso man from Kumi. I may be doing simple things that look special, I may be doing things that touch people, and in the eyes of others they look special, but my feeling, I know that I'm simple, I am as humble as it should be. Good morning, viewers, and everyone else who is with us. My name is Dr. John Ekure. I am an orthopedic surgeon and the proprietor of Kumi Orthopedic Center, like Paul has just introduced. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Doctor. And the fact is, you may think you are special. I mean, you may think that you are simple, but trust me, you are very special to some people because you have touched their lives. So today we want to take a little bit, a few strides back, and we would wish to understand. Dr. John Ekure, yes, we know he is from Teso, but where does he come from? What is he? How did he really come about? Because some people really believe that he must be an angel sent from heaven.
Paul, I'm not an angel. I'm a human being.
Yeah, sure.
I was born almost 50 years ago now at Emuria Hospital. My mother was a midwife there, and my father my father came from Kumi, Chile, and because he had a large family, he got part of the land in Sahel, the other part of the family. And my mother was born in Omino, sub-county. And at that time when I was born in Emuria, it all used to be Kumi district. And so I'm born of Kumi district, as we know the old district. And I grew up in Emuria Hospital. I went to Emuria Boys Primary School. From Emuria Boys Primary School, when my mother was transferred to the Kenya Health Center, I joined the Kenya Primary School for my primary 2 and primary 3. I was fortunate to be told by some who were still alive, and the mother of the former Minister of Health Affairs, Honorable Emuria. I remember, like I told you, there are many stories that I can tell, but I remember her hitting my head because I was very poor at mathematics, arithmetic as such. But I stayed there for a short while, then I moved to Serere, where my dad was, and so I studied in Serere Primary School, and then shifted to Dupa Primary School. That's where I sat my primary level examination. Dupa Primary School was really a grass school with logs. Even up to now, when I visit the place, it hasn't changed much. But using those logs and with our shorts, with torches behind them, we're still able to make it appear in Person Division 1. I was the best in that class. And so I again got 2 admissions at the same time. One to Wiggins Senior Secondary School and one to Teso College. And now my father, being a peasant, because he feared the fees that Teso College quickly asked me to take the offer that I was given at Wiggins Senior Secondary School. I started in Wiggins for only 2 weeks. And when one of my stepsisters found my admission letter at Teso College in my dad's bedroom, she did not rest. And it was on the deadline day when my place should have been given away from Teso College. She made sure that she traveled from Serere to Kumi, and immediately she gave me money, I moved to Soroti. And in Soroti, my sister was married. One of my sisters was married to the late Peter Ekure, who was a friend of Colonel William Maria. I remember that very well. And that was during the water regime, and Colonel William Maria was one of the big people there. Colonel William Maria took me to Teso College and met the late headmaster, Ebam. Initially, Mr. Babu was saying, may he so rest in peace, that I was time back because I went now the day after the deadline. So because Colonel William Maria said, no, you cannot let this boy out, he said, okay, sir, let him be admitted. And I studied in Teso College from 1985 to 1988. And that was during the time of insurgency. It was terrible. If you don't stop me by there, I have a lot of stories. I can talk for 2 hours. During the time of insurgency, we had a rough time at Teso College, but it all shaped us to be what we are. That was the time when there was massive poverty in Teso, because nobody could work. People were always running from one place to the other because of the insecurity which was there. There was both insurgency and cattle rustling. My mother, being a midwife, had also been transferred from Kenya Health Center to Manila. And Manila was always being attacked by cattle rustling. So there was no way apart from depending on the meager service that she was earning, that she was supporting my education. I remember one time being sent out of class because I had a shirt which had nothing on the back. It was during a chemistry lesson. I had a shirt which had completely nothing on the back. They asked me, don't you really have any other thing? The only thing I had in the metallic box, or call it a suitcase, was a t-shirt that I had gotten from Teso College. So we were not allowed to wear t-shirts during formal classes. T-shirts were meant for games and extracurricular activities, but that's what I had. So I decided to wear that to go to class. It was difficult, but it inspired me, it pushed me to work. It pushed me to work. And during our exams, final exams, there was a rebel attack at a place called Apalituma. For many people in Teso who have gone through the Moroto days. And the rebels had ambushed the NRA then. And because it was also during our break time, and when students are gathered in the dining hall, even when they are talking softly, it looks like people are making a lot of noise. And so this gave the impression to the army that the students were moral boosting the rebels. So when they came back, after they had been attacked, when they came back, they ferociously beat us. I wasn't beaten. We hid in the biology lab. They couldn't find us, but we urinated lots of urine in tins, and our hearts would pump and we feel like the gumboots of the soldiers were wearing were about to open, and it took hours, really, after about 3 p.m. That's when the soldiers released all the students. But we had to sit the exam that day. And what I remember most was a biology examination that we had to do. In our dining, and in the assembly hall where we were sitting the exams as the candidates, my desk, someone had been battered and he bled on that desk. But I did not see the blood until the first question. You know these exams that sometimes you seem to have seen a question before somewhere, you have seen it in a text, you know the answer but can't come, you're hungry, you've not had breakfast, you've been traumatized, there's so much adrenaline in you. I said, let me first read this question and I continue with the others that I knew. So when the answer to that question came and I flipped back the paper, unfortunately or fortunately the paper turned and I saw that the whole front page where my name and index number was full of blood. I froze, but I immediately banged the table, and I remember Mr. Gad, who was our vigilator, and then coming and said, unfortunately, all the papers we brought were exactly this. So his advice to me was continue writing, continue answering questions. As I drive to town, that is a distance of 8 kilometers, to see if we can get extra paper. He brought the paper, and I had to squeeze within that same time to complete that exam. But God was on my side. I got a distinction.
Wow.
One in that paper.
In biology.
And I passed very well into college. But because of the trauma that I had gotten, I made my choices that I wanted to move away from the insecurity. So I went to Toronto College.
For A-level.
For A-level. Toronto College, yes, because I passed everything very well. There was a debate on which type of combination I wanted to take, because all combinations were workable, they were good. Now, the career master there asked me, what exactly do you want to do? I said, I have had one vision from being a child, being born in a hospital, seeing other doctors work well, I want to be a doctor. My mother is a midwife, and she has a disability, she has a deformity, and she has worked so hard to bring me up, to take me to school. So I chose PCB. But I had problems with mathematics, because you have PCB, stroke, some math, or even pure maths. But I just wanted PCB. So during one of the classes at Toronto College, one of the mathematics teachers was teaching pure maths. And for one time he said, he put, we're doing, I've forgotten how they call that mathematics, but we put 2 steps and an answer. So, being an inquisitive student, I put up my hands, so I have not understood how
that
you
was
arrived.
class.
Yes, how you arrived at that answer. He said, he blew the chalk from the hat and said, don't bring your confusion to confuse us. If you do not understand, give it up. I said, well, I quit mathematics, but I'm going to pass.
Yes.
I am going to be what I want to be. I am going to be the doctor that I want to be. I moved out from that class, but I did not fail some mathematics because I studied alone.
Yes.
Until I got the credit 6 or something like that.
You taught yourself.
I taught myself, because I couldn't also be taken for granted. You put 2 steps, an answer, and then somebody says you're bringing confusion to the rest of the class.
Yes.
So, well, and the story, if you allow me to talk, is just...
Well, that is very interesting. You had to prove the odds. But picking it up from there, how did you make it to the university and where did you go?
From Toronto College, I'm still telling my story. That was 1989, around September. No, it was actually October, 28. My mom passed on. I was still in senior 5. My mom passed on in a violent manner here in Kumi. She had gone to meet some of her relatives who were at Emuria, and at that time, Kumi at that time was a town council. It was like a huge refugee camp. So there were many people who had come out from the outer villages into the town, but they had a social evening, and then they threw a grenade at her and killed her. That hit me hard because no one There were no telephones. These telephones, they were not there at that time. There was no social media. But I only got to know about it in a newspaper on a Monday morning that 9 people had perished in Kumi following an attack, and the first name I read was my mother's name. I almost collapsed. I went to the head teacher, I found transport, I came and found she had already been buried. So I never found my mother. But I remember her last words to me as she gave me some feast of chocolate. She said, "My son, read. That is your future." And that kept on ringing in my head through all that time. So if we were told to go for prep and all these things, I had something motivating me because I knew that was the situation. But how did I complete that without having was paid fees? I want to say thank you to the people of Kumi. I want to say thank you to the people of Teso. My mother, being here in Kumi Health Center, her friends, her immediate born sister, Ekure, Gladys, took charge of my other sisters.
Wow.
She took them to her house. And then, through her relationships with the people in the district local government, they were able to give me the first bursary for 1 term. Kumi district local government gave me a bursary to continue. And then when I came for holidays at Sister Ekuria's house here in Kumi, I met one of the doctors who used to work with my mother at Emuria Hospital. He's an Englishman, Dr. Frank Guinness. I think I should have his picture here very soon.
Yeah, sure.
That is the gentleman, when he had brought me, because I used to be a friend of his boys, he had 4 boys, that said, "No, John, we will help you finish your education." And every other time we send school fees and support, and that's what I also used now to help my other sisters to continue with their education. And so, people have good hearts. People have ways to respond to problems. And that has impacted on my life ever since. So at Toronto College, I was in the scripture union. And being in the scripture union, we had fellowships. But I discovered that the way we handled our affairs at scripture union, we as the young people were getting overwhelmed by the demands of the scripture union. So one time my colleague came to talk to me that, John, why don't we go for fellowship right now? I said, I do not want to sound like I've backslidden, because if you don't go for fellowship, your colleagues say that you're backsliding. I don't want to sound like I'm backsliding. I believe in God, I trust God. Everything that is happening to me is because God is there. But without you working hard, reading, it will be difficult. So when he argued with me, I told him, between you and me, you might never see the gates of Ekure University. There were not many universities then. And I told him, I will pursue what I'm doing with God's help, and I will see the gates of Ekure and I will become what I want to be. Unfortunately, that came to pass. And this friend of mine almost ceased being a friend. He struggled, but by the time he came to do dispensing at Mulama, I was already a doctor. I was actually there. Yes. Okay. He was now coming to, it became difficult, the relation, because those words I also told him, continue reading. And even when we came to work, it was very difficult. You meet someone on the street, someone was passed, because you remember that we should have been together. And he was a bright boy. But what I'm trying to say, it is the way we manage our time as young people. And even for young people right now, it's the way you manage your time. What you do now will impact later in life.
Thank you very much, Doctor. I'm not cutting you short, but it reminds me of some memories. You know, when we were growing up in Teso, we used to wear shorts. But those shorts actually had torches, like you say. There is a 0 on this other bum, and then there is like a 1 on the thread, and then there is like a 0 here. I'm very sure everybody who has been in Teso sees this. And it reminds us, it gives us some very good memories about this. From your story, Doctor, it puts emphasis that you have, you're from a very humble background. and you have been very passionate about your academics. And from your passion, it encourages and it motivates very many people. We would want to understand what has been pushing you, what has been something that has been inspiring you as a professional doctor now, and as a surgeon. What is the thing that has been motivating you all through? Yes, you've talked about mommy's statement, mommy's counsel, which was giving you the money. Yes, picking it up from there. What has been the thing that has been inspiring you to work with professionally, perhaps in the society? What is the thing that motivates you?
Paul, I think, yes, first of all, my dream as a child was to become a doctor. And true, when I qualified as a doctor, there is again another friend of my mother and a friend of Professor Maswa. I did my internship in Emuria. So that friend came to work with us, he came to visit us in Emuria. And he came at the time when I was finishing my internship. And he asked me, when you finish, he saw that I was so good. When you finish, where do you want to learn what? Because I wanted to learn working in work. Yes. Where I was born. I told him that Dr. Crowder, the challenge of going to work exactly at home, I will be overwhelmed. I am coming to work drives me. Then I said, well, even Kumi Hospital, and then at that time it was called Emuria Process Center, Kumi Process Center. That is still where my mother comes from, there will be some I want to go home, but this is the challenge. So I said, Kumi Process Center, because of the disabilities that I've seen in that place, I want to make people's lives better. So what drives me is actually seeing people who are in disability get ability. What drives me also is to see people in pain begin to smile again and walk again. When someone who had lost hope comes back smiling to you, actually, by the way, when Kumi, I don't buy food. People bring for me food. Despite me charging them money to operate, people appreciate. And then when they appreciate is they bring matoke, they bring chicken, they bring goats. Now I have a small farm of animals, thanks for the donations. The first cow they donated to me was, well, that was during the marriage, but there was another cow was given for treating a patient. So it gives me joy to see people come back from that miserable state to some meaningful form of life, changing the way people think, changing the way people take their disability. And if we can change their disability to become ability, that drives me every day. And when we do a very complex case and we succeed, that makes me happy. And just 2 days ago, like I told you that we had conferences, we had a meeting online of all the doctors in Uganda, and I presented to them the cases that we repair here. That came from their hospitals, or from here. That were messed up. And when we showed them how we did it, they said, Kumi is a wonderful place to be. And we want to learn like you. We want to be like you. We want to inspire other people to work hard and do the right thing. So what inspires me is the joy that people come back from, or get from the misery that they have had, and they restoring ability and restoring them.
Thank you very much. This is indeed very encouraging. And I think once in a while we might need to visit you and help you to celebrate the joy that people brought, like maybe roast one chicken. Yeah, this is really moving. People with disabilities get back to ability. It's a very powerful thing. Now, we know that apparently Kumi Orthopedic Center is the only hospital. It's the only orthopedic center or hospital which is out of Kampala. There are more than 10 orthopedic hospitals that are tied in Kampala there. And somehow we would really want to ask questions. From your experience, you've been in Emuria, you've been in Kampala, yes, you've worked in Unino, you've been in Teso. But what is the thing that motivates, what is the thing that guided your decision that this hospital needed to be in Kumi? And what are the core values of Kumi Orthopedic Center? And how far do you feel you have achieved them? Are you at ease that you've achieved them currently?
Thank you. Paul, let me first correct you before I answer that.
Yeah.
This is the only orthopedic hospital in Uganda. Now, the other hospitals have orthopedic surgeons working in them, which is but they're general hospitals.
Yes.
The only hospital that comes to Kumi Orthopedic Center is the one called Teso,
Yes.
or Teso, which is a CBM, or let's say it's a non-governmental hospital, private not-for-profit, that is dedicated to children also with disabilities and has both plastic surgery and children's orthopedics. But now they have expanded because of the poor donation or money influence. Now, there are many hospitals now that provide orthopedic services, but they are not orthopedic hospitals. Now, to come to the reason why we built this hospital here, my mother's blood flowed in this area. But the people of this area made me become what I am. So I built this hospital to give back to the people of Kumi and Teso at large. Otherwise, when I had the opportunity to move, I could have been outside Uganda. I had opportunities in South Africa, I had opportunities in Canada, I had opportunities in the USA. But I felt like I had a covenant. But to talk about a contract is weak. I have a covenant with the people of Teso. I don't just want to talk about people. I feel I am bonded to them, I am part of them, and whatever I do, though sometimes it's misunderstood, is for the good of the people of Teso. Well, there will always be negative people. They will always say, yes, he built the hospital there, but very few locals access the services. I can assure you, very many people, including my neighbors in the hospital here in Siota, Kelly, where now access the services. We treat more than 1,000 patients, not just 1,000. We operate more than 1,000 patients every year. We treat more than 4,000 patients every year. That's how busy we are. And the reason I put this hospital here was to remember my mother and make sure that her blood did not flow in vain. And those who chose to support me when I was in need now know that they did the right thing. And I want to tell others who have the ability, if there is a child who has difficulties, please help them. Please help them, because you never know what will come back, what you'll get out of that. It's not like paying back or paying back. We've supported a number of children who are also qualified and become doctors. They have become different professionals. But we know so long as we are alive, we will continue to serve our community the way it is. But sometimes people make a mistake of misunderstanding when you say, I've given it back to the people of Kumi, and they think you should offer a free service. That's what I used to tell people, even when I was in Kumi Hospital as a staff of the church hospital. There is no way you can provide orthopedic services of very high quality like we do without resources. Where do we get our funding from? Who gives us that funding? And when we set out to build this hospital, we said we must build a self-sustaining, self-propagating hospital. And which means the people would have to access the services that otherwise would not be accessible by paying. And if we have to give you a hip replacement, it should be the same quality that you get in the USA, in Germany, or in India if you decided to go. We've actually rejected lots of Indian prostheses which are cheap, because we believe all human beings are the same, because all of them were created by God. There is nothing that should be given because this is from Kumi, this one is poor. No, everybody deserves the best, and that's what we want to offer to our people.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Doctor. Now, I think you put something very clear. The reason why perhaps the fares, the cost of treatment in this hospital is the way it is because it is an international standard. And I think that is very applaudable, because that means instead of me flying to another country, I will get the same service that I would get there from here, minus the costs of paying like an air ticket. And I think that is amazing. I think that is what people have not been understanding.
Now, let me just tell you that.
Yes.
Now, actually, instead of people flying out, they're now flying to Kumi. They now fly to Kumi. What we're thinking of now is finding land where we can build an aerodrome. But they can also fly to Soroti Flying School and get driven here. Or they can fly to Kumi Hospital and get driven here. But those who use helicopters now are starting. I have patients down there who have been flown in helicopters. I have patients now who have been driven from Kampala here. Now the distance, Kumi is now becoming like the center in terms of treatment. Kumi receives patients from all over Uganda. We've had patients flying in from Ethiopia, from Eritrea, from Kenya, and also from Tanzania. And it doesn't mean there are not orthopedic services in those countries. They are there. But it's because of the quality, and it's because of, like you say, our core values. Our core values are about really giving people the quality that they deserve, high quality, and being timely, and being, of course, kind to them, being compassionate, and we have a list of core values that we practice.
Are you at peace that you have achieved with them to some extent?
Now, that is what sometimes makes people fail in whatever projects they get, because they become peaceful very quickly. They become complacent. They reach so quickly. We have not reached. We want to do more than we've done. To other people, they think we have reached. We have not yet reached where we want to be. There is so much still we're waiting for, but we are thankful to God for what we have and where we have reached. So we are not yet there. We are still hungry. We're still hungry for more success. We're still hungry for more quality service. We're still hungry for more. We are not there. Yes. We don't have it like people may think. No, we still have that passion. We still have that drive that wants make us do better. We can do better than we did yesterday. And by the way, we are not in competition with anyone. We've eliminated that. We believe we're in competition with ourselves because we want to be better than we've been the previous day.
Thank you. Before we go for a break, I know, like you said, if I would use your words, you feel you have a covenant with Teso. Now, from your story, your story background, from then when you were in Teso College to this very day, you will agree with me that Teso has gone through a lot. It has gone through a lot of trouble economically, socially, religiously and politically. We would want to know, how do these problems affect you as a person? How do Teso problems affect you?
Yes, being a person, you don't live like a man. You live in a family, you live in a community, you live in a nation like Uganda. As a person, the insurgency in Uganda robbed me of my mother. As a person, the insurgency robbed my father of a lot of his wealth and he became a pauper. Robbed most of my brothers and sisters of their livelihood. We lost one of our elder brothers in an internally displaced post camp in Emuria because the conditions were so bad. And the sanitary conditions were so bad, he got dysentery, and the treatment service, the healthcare services were very poor. They couldn't manage it and he died. As a person, the political turmoil, is tied down to the insurgency, and I think that has answered. And as a person, the religious confusion, again, because of my association with the church and because of my beliefs in church. By the way, for your information, I'm an apologetic Anglican. I belong to Church of Uganda. I have been to the cradle of Christianity. I visited Bethlehem.
Yes.
I touched Jesus' manger in 2018. I've gone to where Jesus, the Holy Spirit came to the disciples. I have walked the path where Jesus, I've done all that because I believe in Jesus. And because of that interaction with the church, I got involved in trying to lift up the status of the church, especially in the economic sphere, so that they can propagate the gospel. And we talk about the true gospel. There are many types of gospel. That has made some people who might not believe in their ideology or believe in their thinking, think that I'm a problem to them. And I believe in truth, and I will always speak the truth. And when I spoke the truth, it brought problems to other people. But I will never deviate from the truth, however much people try to intimidate, however much people plan wrong things, because I know that the God who brought me to this world will always keep me safe and take me to where He wants me to be. My destiny is in His hands.
And lastly, as we take a break, how do you want to get involved towards the development of Teso? Perhaps you as a person, maybe as an association or as this organization, as a hospital, as a center. How do you want to get involved towards the development of Teso? Which part are you going to take? Or which part are you already taking? Or which part are you already in towards in the development of Teso?
Thank you very much for that question. Certainly, I have a passion for everyone getting beyond what I am. I want many people to be better than what I am, whether in medicine, whether economically, whether socially. I would love to see people better than I am. I am the co-chair of what we call APID. APID stands for Ekure Professionals Initiative for Development. Now, APID is working in all sectors of life. We have some sector right now, and I'm related after about 2 p.m. They were talking about education in Teso and working together with the schools that we have to see how performance education in Teso can be improved. We have what we call the Teso Health Professionals Forum, and it involves all the professionals, Teso health professionals of all generations, whichever name of the health professional we talk about, they are part of that group. And as of now, what we are doing is to try to fight COVID-19 and see that many of our people don't die from this preventable disease. We have also other sectors within APID. We've registered APID because you can't run this organization just losing a plan. It either has to be an NGO or a company. So it's been registered as a company, but we will work together with all the youth, with all the professionals, with all able-bodied and able-minded people to see that we develop Teso together with the government. Because I mean, the government is the chief driver of development, but the people have to take their initiatives. If the people don't do it themselves, no one will do it for us. And if our own professionals in Teso do not do like what we've done here in Kumi Orthopedic Center, no one else will do it for us. If they do it for us, it will be for a reason to start our career. But we must pump in what we have. I will probably tell you that like this hospital, it's a hospital. But I can assure you, without any help, the economy of Kumi municipality is beginning to be heavily reliant on the visitors who come to this hospital. I get patients who come from the north, I get patients who come from the west, I get patients who come from Kampala. Where do they buy what they eat from? They buy from Kumi market. Where do they get the utensils or whatever that they bring when they discover that they don't provide food to the patients? And that's also deliberate, not provide food for the patients so that other people can get business. And there are those who don't drive themselves in. They come on motorcycles. They come. The border industry is booming because there are people to work with, to take care. Some hotels during a clinic day are overbooked because patients travel long distances, so they come and get accommodation in those hotels. Unfortunately, the hotel owners do not even understand where some of these people are coming from and why they are in the hotels. That's because of the position of the hospital. So, as a professional, I'm so passionate in seeing that other professionals take the same initiative that we've taken to develop our government. We want this to happen in Serere, we want this to happen in Soroti, we want this to happen in the Katakwi, Kabramaino, everywhere, so that we can change the livelihoods of our people, so that we can impact on the way our people behave, on the way our people do things, so that everybody emphasizes on economic and spiritual growth.
Thank you. Thank you very much, our listeners out there. and those that are viewing and following us live. We're going to take a short break and then we shall come back. We've been here with our guest, Dr. John Ekure, and we are live right here at his hospital. That is where we are. And like I said earlier, that you can also follow the same and share it with friends. You can follow EmuriaTV on Facebook. You can also follow us live on YouTube and on Twitter. We shall take a short break, and when we are back, we shall pick up this conversation. Thank you very much. Teso ajala kisangolo pa teker ajala kisangolo pa ai puma ina ikoto kwa Teso ajala kisapiti na Teso ajala kisapiti na amina na rai koto ikatunga isolo tai katunga ai katunga mwanga nyune katunga ikanisa ikatunga ai katunga mwanga nyune katunga Kumi town katunga ai katunga mwanga nyune katunga.
Saying that you can delete all 150 years.
Yes, today is the second day of the month of September, being the third day of the allocation of the spaces in the main market.
Yes, the apparat na unique ni automa korokoro na lockups. Na just landlords kede
Tenants, people who've been renting places where they used to operate the business from.
Tunaje beso koni longe sara la ponte gara la kaisara luare no lapa alo itomonta diopo karlu kumniare kede akaisare keda kaisare ne da boy president
His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. That was on the 22nd of November 2020.
sido reporter no da dumuna ne yoneta be angentunga nane lo sa dumuna lockup diope,
and of which the processes seem to be a little longer, and now the people, the landlords and the tenants are still here waiting.
Tenants kede landlords will work,
And they've told them 2 hours from now when the allocation will actually take place.
When
every person will be requested to move to the main market to operate their businesses from here. My name is Peter Ariko,
Isaac Ojen
for EmuriaTV,
Voice of Teso and
Soroti Main Market.
Osokoni ala Polon.
Thank you.
I'm just in a break, but I'll be coming back to I'll be coming back after the live. Yes. On YouTube, then Rachel is feeding on Facebook from the other side from studio.
With 5 million products.
Koni Teso loitele koni abe koni dalolo ikatunga ajala kisangolo pa teker ajala kisina Teso ajala kisapetina amina na rai koto ikatunga isolo tai katunga ai katunga mwanga nyune katunga ikanisa ikatunga ai katunga mwanga nyune katunga Kumi town katunga ai katunga mwanga nyune katunga.
On air.
Thank you and welcome back to EmuriaTV. If you're just joining us, we are discussing about development of Teso, and this show is called Teso in Focus. And today we have a guest, Dr. John Ekure, and we are discussing about the development of Teso, and we have taken him down to the memory lane to understand where he comes from, and we are reminding him about some things today, and we are moving forward. And dear followers online, we are kindly requesting you to still continue following us online, EmuriaTV, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitter. And we are picking up this discussion, Doctor. What projects apparently do you have for Teso? Either as Kumi Orthopedic Center or as a group, like these organizations that you've already talked about, like which projects so far do you have for Teso? And what strategies are there to implementing them? And what should the locals down there, what should a person who comes from Teso, Teso develop? You know, sometimes that sometimes that I met down from Aina Petal projects and near Teso.
First, as a hospital, we've supported our hospitals We've supported Ekure Hospital with 2 operating beds.
Wow.
We visited them and we found that our mothers had almost no way of being delivered by surgery. So we delivered 2 operating tables to Ekure Hospital, and that's what they're still depending upon. And then very soon, in the coming 2 weeks, we will be commissioning the X-ray unit at Sarah Health Center 4, and we'll be probably asking government whether it also shows center. That other project has been very interesting because it's brought out the book in the Teso. Most times people speak about the Teso as people remember but when we donated the X-ray machine and say we wanted a house for it, the people, not just the people said, the people of Teso, they so generous to the building of the X-ray unit, because the X-ray unit is not just big, it's not just an ordinary building. The walls are big, they have resist X-ray radiation. The doors are also expensive and thick. They have to be resistant. The rays should not be able to cross. Otherwise, if you don't record the cars are married, you don't have a trauma. So that has been one project that has been so good, and I want to thank the people of Serere, of Teso, even Sajid Tana was able to help with the roofing sheets. So it's really a community project for people of Uganda. Then, as API, we are planning very big things. Teso loves factories. We're planning for a factory that processes starch and yeast products, maybe even sanitizer and what. Hopefully, we'll put it in Salt Industrial Park. We're planning for many other industries. We must create jobs for our youth. Many people have gone to school and they have no jobs whatsoever. And who are those to create jobs for that? When we talk about government, who is government? We have to take responsibility to be part of government and create jobs when we are able, so that everyone has something to do. And so that's why I would really call upon all those members who don't understand what APIC is, who don't understand these social media groups, what they are. There are many things that we are doing. And again, as professionals, we've started what we call Orthopedic Investments Limited. And our chairman right now is Dr. Ekure, the former executive member. And our aim is to build Orthopedic Investments Bank. Orthopedic Investments Bank is the purely developmental bank for Teso. We think what affects many of our people in Teso is access to capital. By the way, people fear borrowing. People sometimes borrow for funny reasons. And when they borrow for those reasons, they don't develop because they fail to pay back the money. But we are thinking that we should give people easy capital so that many people can be able to start their own businesses, many people can be able to start their own projects, and so that we can grow from all angles. We don't want just one part of Teso to develop more than the other, but we want the whole Teso to grow at once. Okay, it takes time, but we are on it. We have started the company. It's been in operation for more than a year. We are working on our investment capital. We've made contributions. We're doing some business to grow that money. And we think many other people can create companies that can also create jobs that will help our people. Because when our people are engaged, it means there will be less crime, it means there will be less gossip, it means people will be busy, and then they will have something to do.
Yeah, thank you very much, Doctor. From the perspective, we see you connecting Teso with its own children. We work at the door, Aricho Kinikede, Kedwe, Chilo, Teso, we just Tinga, we just Roma. And when we carry the just case, may able to swam on it, is the regular Teso. Yalamane and Wapanasomani. Now, very many people have been asking. They see you drive alone in your car, they see you move, and always you're in business. So they wonder, what friends do you have? Really?
Now, I have friends.
Yeah.
But my friendship matters. I have friends who think like me. I have friends who are progressive. I do not take friends who put people down. I do not take friends who destroy. But I cannot name my friends for you, but I have friends, many. And I smile most of the time, I laugh most of the time, they make me happy, and we grow together. We think the same way. So I don't drive alone. Okay, my wife has her own car as well. So if my wife didn't have a car, then we'll be driving together in one car. And yes, I'm blessed that I'm working together with my wife in the same hospital. She's a professional by her own right. She's pursuing more studies. She's got a bachelor's degree in commerce and accounting. She's pursuing a master's degree. She's got a professional paper. This is somebody who have been employed by those accounting organizations, international accounting organizations. And I said, why don't we build this together? I need a professional to help me manage. Because what fails most of our businesses is by thinking that you can be a doctor and also know how to do the accounting, you do the reports and all these things. You have to employ professionals to do the professional work in the hospital or in an organization. Many people have had issues with taxes. The reason they have issues with taxes is because they do not know how to keep records, they do not know how to do the accounts, they do not know how to do many things. Pay people what they deserve and they will come here. So we are generally an economically depressed area that do not attract brain power, good skills, but we have to make it work for the sake of our mother.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Now, apparently people have been appreciating, they have been commending your works, especially when you offer scholarships or sponsorship to people to go and study. They appreciate it very much. Your donations that you have done, you just mentioned about Ekure Hospital, you talked about Serere, and you know there are many more than just the ones you listed, honestly. However, there has been a growing cry. It has also been running on social media. You can also hear people talk about around in town here. They feel that despite the fact that your contribution to the development of Teso and perhaps Kumi in particular is very commendable and it's appreciated. They just think that perhaps based on this chat matter about the COVID diocese, they feel that maybe your contribution is somehow stretching beyond its limit. What do you have to say about that?
Thank you very much again. Let me tell you, even when you lie on your back and people walk on your back, others will always complain that you're flat enough. Whatever you do, not everybody will agree with it. The church matter is because some people refuse to see light, they refuse to see the truth. Okay? And the facts have been made in the courts of law, they have been proven. The truth is, it is the work of those who don't want to believe in the truth. I am a professional, I stick to my profession, but I'm also, like I said, probably an Anglican. I believe in my faith, I believe in what I do. The management of church affairs is in the hands of the church managers. So I will not be able to start saying, I have gone overboard. If I am nominated in the committee, and they give us criteria, and somebody doesn't meet the criteria, and you say this person doesn't meet the criteria, how does that make you go overboard? I think that borders on evil. To make wrong to be right, and make right to be wrong, and then they castigate you because of that. There will be always people who will try to look for faults in everything you do. As somebody who has gone through a lot of hard time from my growing up now, I know that when you reach where I reach now, or I want to reach where I want to reach, you must have a thick skin. They will talk, they will threaten, they will even want to kill you because you have a car. So what will stop them from doing what they want to do? They will always find reason to try to throw mud at you. But as a business person, as a profession, you have to stay focused, determined, and with the help of God, we will succeed.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Doctor. Just before we continue, we're almost coming to the end of this show, but I think we should take through some comments online. One, there are some people who are really appreciating. They're saying some are watching abroad, and they are very excited about this. They are thanking you, Doctor, for your services. They're also thanking EmuriaTV. Thank you very much for watching and following us live. And I want us to check through them. If there is any that is cross-cutting, we could. We want to check through and maybe read out one of them. Somebody is asking if we could take it through. Yeah. So there's somebody who is saying that that is HD. Kuragan says that is my role there, you see. And there's somebody who is saying, that is Okiringo, is saying that we thank God for you, doctor. There's another body, somebody who is saying, Okiring Henry is saying, that's a very good program. The general, that is General Dicklis. He's saying that nice program, thank you, EmuriaTV. And there is Jose Omo, greetings to doctor. I watch him from Germany, thanks to the Almighty. I remember I used to grind for him cassava flour whenever he was to travel back to the university. Thank you very much, and many more people. There is Okudu William is saying, great man. Robert Ereg is saying, is live from Kapchora. Thank you very much, and keep your comments coming on YouTube. Keep your comments coming on Facebook. We'll read them out, and let's keep the conversation going. But moving forward for this discussion, Doctor, apparently you have done so many things. You are a professional doctor. You have practiced in a number of hospitals. You have experience now professionally as a doctor. And then that is now Dr. Ekure. But we also want to listen to you as Mr. Ekure. What would you speak? What message would you want to leave to the young people and to the people of Teso at large?
As Mr. Ekure would say, life is something that young people should take seriously. That your background should never determine your future. That you can come out of any situation to do very well in life, but you can also come out of a very good situation to mess yourself up at whatever level of life. And as Mr. Ekure, I treasure my belief in God. I treasure His protection on me and His guidance on me. I also treasure my family. I also treasure my extended family. And I treasure my ideas. And when I believe in them, I will pursue them until I succeed. But that doesn't mean if there are competing ideas that I haven't shared mine. I always want to get, you asked about friends as well. I always get those friends who are like-minded that can bring ideas that we can work together. And I am always focused. And I have learned, as Mr. Ekure, that I have to be persistent in life. I have to persist through CRAB. CRAB here will stand for criticism. Whatever you do, whether you like it or not, when you walk barefooted, people will criticize you. When you wear those torches, people will criticize you. When you wear a suit, people will criticize you. And I will persist through that. I will also persist through rejection. Now, I did not set out to build a hospital from the beginning. I set out to serve the people of Kumi and Teso through the church hospital in Kampala. My late mother's workmates, the one I called Dr. Krebe from England, who is a surgeon, who was Professor Maswal's workmate also at Ngora and probably at school somewhere. He wrote a small note to Professor Maswal. And he wrote a small note to Professor Maswal asking him to help me join either Ngora Hospital or Kumi Hospital. And at that time it was Bishop Ilukoro who was the head of Sorority Diocese. We were all under Sorority Diocese. So after my internship, I came on the note from Professor Maswal to Bishop Ilukoro and he asked me, where would you want to be? Do I send you to Ngora? Do I send you to Kumi Hospital? I send you to Kumi Hospital. And I admired Bishop Ilukoro. He mentored me in many ways. We got close, and I worked in the hospital that he was running as well as a young child. And I want to tell you, the young people must have respect, first of all, for elders, because they will shape your future. The young people must have respect for the truth, because that will shape their future. If anyone does not question why certain things are said and done, then you are likely to fail. But as a young person, respect doesn't mean taking everything people say as absolute something. You must be able to have the capacity to use it. And then this hospital I was talking still about crop. We have issues at Kumi Hospital. I can summarize it that I was rejected at Kumi Hospital. When I was rejected, I said I have a covenant with the people of Kumi. And so, instead of me moving far away, let me put my own unit here. And that's how I built Kumi Orthopedic Center. So rejection is also good. When people reject you, actually they propel you. It inspires you to move forward. Now, the other one is adversity. Yes, through adversity, I lost my mother, I lost work, but I got help. I started. Adversity should help you project yourself. And there is also prejudice. People who are prejudiced against other people will always want to make you fail, but you have to have a thick skin and stay focused and determined. Anyone else who does anything outside what they should do will be a criminal. Okay? But anyone else who can criticize without necessarily tampering with the work the others are trying to do, they will be okay to criticize, but we learn from that criticism and move forward, make ourselves better. We will stay hungry, we will stay focused, we will stay determined. And our future is not dependent on those who don't want us. Like I said, you will not be wanted by everybody. And we are not out to be praised by everybody. We are out to serve those who really want our service, those who want to depend on what we do, who benefit from us, those who will benefit. And that's what we can say about some communities that are negative in one or the other. So negative people will always exist. And as somebody who treasures where he's going, we are all here, no one rejects the other, we will stay. And if somebody attempts to do some illegality, they are the ones who reject themselves, because that is not what we are. We are more than what they think.
Yeah, I think we are going to find time in the near future, and we want to doubt so much about what people say about you and how it should affect you. I think we are going to give time to that as EmuriaTV. But just before we go from this, thank you very much, Doctor. This is very particular and specific to the young people. Teso kwenye ijeri bipuitu maluyo richopina kedo nyoto mulago mwesi ikamutora musukuno ine kwenye akirome polok no genere dotai balas bonbe neja satu muna busa kinti jo ayo mtutuma be polok ani jeju nara ipua kakiri ndo shisha bunija dum nare dengesho bunija dum na tetina naro na ibuna ngaraki jo keda soma ko na neja jo kere inye ne jeju ara bona nelo mutori jo ara bonati arero no jo kau ala ibuti jo rea do ichana ara nini kajara jeju tumubakor inye asesemi bakor muntejo kwenye ja asesemi ngare ndo ja soma go titel libera jilakne koni je otene jilakne koni kala kajilakne Teso kere kaidules. There are two last things, Doctor, that I want us to finish spot on from here. What could be your particular advice or something you want to mention to the professionals, other professional doctors or medical practitioners in Teso or in Uganda at large, particularly?
Thank you, Paul. What I want to tell the medical professionals, seriously speaking as a professional as well, one, remember where you're coming from. The medical professionals who were educated by these mothers or fathers, they wear one dress for months, they cannot even do their hair, they sacrifice for you. And then when you have qualified like me, you go and sit in some cool office and forget about it. Let's remember where we're coming from. And by remembering where we're coming from, let's give back and take care of our parents first. And then our elders. And let's invest so that our neighbors can benefit from the fruits of our education. There is no being a professional, whether you are a super rocket engineer or something like this, and it doesn't impact on the community. We must impact on our communities and one, not just financially or economically, but even change the way they think. There are some practices in our culture that are retrogressive, but I'm happy to say, as professionals who are working with our cultural union, we are trying to come together and understand what can work for people and what cannot work for people, and working together with them. Let's not ignore them. Let's not just say these people are a burden. When we were young, we were also a burden to them. When they grow old, then we start saying our parents are a burden. That's wrong. I have actually seen some parents here, they have 12 children, they're all working. At that time it used to call UCB, but they're working standing. Old woman got diabetes, but they could never afford even a cent to send a cent for the treatment of the mother. Let's stop this thing. I said I'm a pro-Anglican. Religion has a role to play in our lives. Believe in religion, in Christ, for me who is believing in Jesus Christ, has a role to shape you. Money without Christ is useless, because you will sink it in so many things. You will sink it in prostitutes, you will sink it in useless buildings. Let it impact on the life of people. There are many children roaming in our villages who cannot afford an education, but we are there with lots of money, being selfish. Let Christ enter our hearts and let's start doing the right things. So for the other professionals, whether in health, whether in engineering, whether in education, I'm not saying come back home, but have another foot back here at home.
Thank you very much. Kenate Somami to Ram Ekure. Yarama and Doctor for being very clear and to the point. Aisomaijo ni somaijo mama rai kon bejeja do fed na ikeo na ala ni somaijo ni se business edi asare diskere anora po lori kapoteso ami muro kina uli atakon ai ngara kiteke siya dokta pera ngina na ipedo torijo tutelo ni pedo na potelo ni pera dumna regisio ne ja saudi akamon. And lastly, Doctor, currently in Uganda, very many people who make a name either in a profession whatsoever, but in the recent polls, we've seen that a number of doctors that have actually reached a certain level, certainly are turning into politics. Do you at one moment intend to go political?
Thank you for that question. I mean, many people have tried to talk to me that why don't you start, why don't you do this? I have a focus. Like I told you in the beginning, I have a covenant with the people of Teso, and my field, my strength, is in my profession. I have no business in elective politics. I have no business wasting time in things that will either rip people apart or not help people. I'm not saying politics is bad, but I love orthopedic surgery. I love seeing the smiles of those who are unable, disabled, becoming able and walking. I can tell you a short story of a patient who spent about 3 years in Kampala. He was at Case Hospital, he went to Nakasero Hospital, he was in Mulago Hospital. 3 years. He had a massive injury, he had a horrendous accident, multiple fractures, wasn't walking. They brought to him here. He spent a lot of money, more than 100 million treating himself. He had never walked for 3 years. When we treated him, day one was able to get up for the first time. And the words he expressed can bring tears to my eyes. That is the joy I get in doing it. I love my profession. I have passion for it, and I'm not about to lose it. So I'm not about to start thinking of politics or elective politics. I'm thinking about how to keep this hospital beyond me. When I die, it should really continue to serve the way I dreamt of it. That is the preoccupation I have right now.
Thank you very much, our fellow viewers out there. Thank you very much for following EmuriaTV. And we want to thank you very much for following this event from the very beginning up to now. And we want to thank you very much for listening to us. And one thing that you should take home, yes, you might have an issue with me, but perhaps what we have communicated to you, the sense that you must have listened to, should change your life for the better of Teso. We want to thank you very much once more for loving EmuriaTV, and we pray that you keep loving it. We've been having this show, Teso in Focus, and we've been doing it here at Kumi Orthopedic Center, the only orthopedic hospital in Uganda. And we've come to the end of this show, and want to pray that we will catch up with you again in another show, and Teso in Focus again. We will invite Doctor and other people in Teso that matter, and people who are passionate about the development and the changes that are positive to Teso. We will always invite them as EmuriaTV. You can always love and like EmuriaTV social media, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitter, EmuriaTV. Thank you very much. It has been me, your host, Paul Motesen. Thank you very much. Regards from EmuriaTV.
Ajala kisepiti na Teso, ajala kisepiti na Amina na raikoto